Welcome back to the Unanimous Decision Podcast. I am your host, D Palm. Follow me on Blue Sky, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere at DPalm66. Follow the show on everywhere, I guess, at UDPod. You can follow us on YouTube at UDPod66. I finally have a usable thing. You can also follow the entire Internet Network at, you guessed it, the MTR Network. You found this. Don't you dare lose this. Subscribe on iTunes. Subscribe on Spotify. Subscribe on YouTube as I drag this podcast into 2015. As always, you're brought to you by Daniel Palmer Mortgages. If you can pay your rent, you can pay a mortgage. It's my job to help you qualify. If you found your way here for my other podcast, Life, Love, and Real Estate, first of all, welcome. Second of all, episode 12 is being recorded this week. Equity, what is it? How do we use it? And an invitation to our equity class that we'll be teaching later this month. I think that's all the housekeeping there is to be done because I have one of my most favorite guests of all time. Shanna is here. Shanna, are you MTR alumni? Like, how do I intro you?
Yeah. So basically the comic book show era ended and I haven't really, well, at least the CW comic book show era ended, and it ended right when we were also like in the middle of a global pandemic and everyone.
Oh yeah, that thing. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I remember.
Everyone was very like tired and overworked, and so when it came time to like kind of be like, what are things we want to cover, it just felt like everybody was like, I'm tired. Like I can't do a weekly podcast anymore. So yeah, right now I'm just kind of like guesting on various people's shows when I get the chance and just talking about stuff with my favorite people. I am trying to get like a little thing started back up again. And I'm gonna just call myself out and be like, I am horrible at self-editing, and in that what that means is that I haven't started because I'm already like nitpicking how I want it to look and all that kind of stuff. And I'm trying to talk myself out of that and just be like, start just talking again.
There you go. Well, I've got a new project. So Chris is like, he's changing jobs. And so he's going to have a lot more free time. So we're starting to get things ramped up again. I had to turn down Insanity Check this week because I was like, I have a much more important podcast to do with Shanna talking about sports. But I was like, it's the day after my 40th birthday party. I will not be in shape to do the marathon that is the Insanity Check.
Yes.
So I'm really glad you're here. I'm excited to talk to you. But as Chris brings back kind of more stuff, I've got a project that one of the gifts from Susan for my birthday was she's stealing some designers from her job to design the logo for the new project I want to get out. And I'll be tapping you for that as well because I think it'd be fun to do with you. So just kind of teasers there for you comic book nerdy folks. We've seen each other in person a lot more recently than I really honestly thought we would have. And I'm so excited to talk about it today. So Shanna is, I want to put this gently and like appropriately, Shanna's crazy. And what? I don't think.
True.
And so like the way I can't even think, because there's nothing I love as much as I learned you love Beyonce.
Yes, I love. Well, and I'm not alone, and I'm also not.
No, hold on. I didn't say. Hold on. I don't want to. I would be remiss if I made it sound like Shanna's the only person. I live in a home with someone who we'll talk about later, who's also crazy for Beyonce. But okay, yes, I hate to make it sound like you're alone.
I love Beyonce. I'm not like one of these like Beyonce conspiracy theorists. Like these folks be online, like being like, So if you notice, Jay-Z came on night 3 of each of her shows, and so that means that Act 3 is gonna be a combo album between. Like I'm not that.
Shanna, I want to just make an analogy here. It's like when conservatives say, it could be worse. Like that's not. You don't celebrate that you could be sicker.
Okay, like so what I will say, I am the Beyonce fan, primarily because I hate where she performs in the Bay Area, but secondarily because it's just a better experience. I am the Beyonce fan who has traveled out of the country to see Beyonce.
Thank you. I wanted to get your bonafides out there.
The Beyonce fan who has seen, I think every tour that I've seen of hers, except for one, I've seen twice. So in different cities. I will also say that I saw her show in Atlanta last week, and I have purchased a ticket to go see her show in Vegas next week.
Yeah, I want to get all that on Front Street. I wanted to, people like, oh, his friend likes Beyonce. No. I need you to understand what that means. But you and I got to kick it, I guess it was like 2 Wednesdays ago. We got some lunch. It was great to catch up. And I told you that, oh, yeah, my wife Susan's going on the Friday night show. You guys should link up. I get the picture of you guys linking up before the show. Awesome. I am home alone with the baby. It's a nice, quiet Friday night. Oh, the clips had come out. So I had a very nice listening party on the back porch. And I fell asleep a little bit. I'm awakened by Susan coming in the home because the dog barked. And she's like, oh, good, you're awake. And before I could be like, I'm not actually awake. Before I could correct her, I got the full download of the show, which, because you've gone to so many, I don't know if it still happens for you. Susan sounded like someone who'd been in a car accident. She sounded like someone who was in shock. She would tell me this detailed description of the set and the song. And then she goes, oh, before that. And it was like things were like occurring to her in real time. How was your post-show experience?
My favorite part of being at this show with Susan is that at one point she turns to me and she goes, but what more can she do? like she was just like, I don't understand.
And you're like, don't challenge a goddess.
The show's not over. What more can she do for us? And I was like, yeah, you just gotta keep watching.
It's truly, for people who are in that world, it's truly a religious experience. We were at dinner for my birthday last night, and one of our friends who'd gone to another one of the shows said it was the closest. She's not religious, but this is the closest this is what religious people feel like. Mm-hmm. She's like, I don't do work that's directly tied to Beyonce, but I feel like my work empowers her somehow. And so,
oh my God, you come away feeling so empowered. Like you can do, you're like, if she can get on that stage and do that for 2.5 to 3 hours, I can do anything. Like I should be able to accomplish anything, because what I just watched, it was like achievable. By at one point, she like is flying through the air on a horse and getting entirely too close to us. I was like, ma'am, we're human. Please stay away from us. You are not us. Like, why are you this close to me?
So that Friday night show was Susan's birthday, her actual birthday, and you guys got some really good birthday ticket magic. Mm-hmm. Susan had bought some you guys both were in the upper deck, the 300 section, and one of Susan's friends got tickets through a broker or something, and they, like, the seats were quote unquote obstructed. And so they gave them better seats, which means these 3 or 4 seats were open, and you guys got to sit in the 100 section and have a fantastic night from what I've heard. Apparently the obstruction was the thing that the horse.
It's the horseshoe. It was the horseshoe, because she also rides on a horseshoe.
A horseshoe, like a Green Goblin, like the Green Goblin of pop music.
She like comes and like does like a little dance on this platform, which I'm like, now we're right in front of the platform. Like, what are you talking about? Obstructed. And then she like sits on this horseshoe and like flies around the stadium. It's amazing.
So I want you to know, you made Susan's entire birthday. She was so excited to have someone, not just to watch it with, but someone who it was like watching with director's commentary. It was like, she told me, she's like, she's dropping the facts about the children. I'm like, how do you know this? She goes, oh, I say this to Shanna. I'm like, how does Shanna? So when you preface all your like, I'm not as crazy as I could be. That is my wife when she was pregnant would be like, she said, I could be much worse as a pregnant one. I'm like, that's not a good thing. That's a threat. You threatened me. I feel attacked. I feel like I'm in danger now.
She said to me, like, I think I'm going to cry when it starts. And I was like, oh my God, like, yes, probably, but it's fine, whatever. Then at one point, I was full boo-hoo crying during the show. It's like she looks over, there's like tears running down my face. She's like, are you okay? I was like, it's just so beautiful.
I need something in my life that makes me feel that way. I got close. I saw Superman this week. I got close. Yeah. I'm there. I was like, okay. I feel hope. I feel light. I feel excitement. And that's from a man who just turned 40. Like, that's a lot to draw out of me. on the week I turned 40 years.
You're a DC person, right?
I'm a hero for. I'm not Marvel. I'm in DC. I like a good story, and I like the idea of Superman when it's handled well is really powerful. Mm-hmm. And I find that the overly cynical, like you're cheapening the idea of Superman. He is the modern monomyth that everything else kind of springs from. And so when you're like, well, what if Superman killed people? It's like, that's not the point. No. You've missed the entire point of the character, and you've hurt me. And so this one, it was I'm not going to spoil it here, and this is not that podcast, but I know you were kind of trepidatious based on kind of what coming off of the Superman and Lois. For me, and we'll do a quick little thing. I thought they nailed the relationship to the point where I was like, it's a reminder that this comic, this story, at its core is a romantic story. It is wish fulfillment. What if a man could fly? It's literally wish fulfillment. And so you get these twin love stories of Lois, the love that's requited, and Lex, the love that's not, and how those manifest. Did you think that captured fairly well by James Gunn?
So what I will say is I really appreciated them dropping us into the middle of the story, us not having to rewatch another origin, rewatch a how do Lois and Clark, their romance start. Like, drop us in the middle, act like we know Superman, because we do. We have decades of history of Superman. We get it. And then I really appreciated the overall. I was listening to Whoopi Goldberg was talking about it, and she said, like, basically that she was watching and she realized that the whole time she was waiting for like the shoe to drop or Superman to turn or
the undercut,
the undercutting of it, and that the earnestness, the hopefulness of it carried throughout, I think was really important to bring back, especially at this moment that we're at in time and in the world.
Whatever could you mean, Shanna?
It's just like, at my core, I too am like a sappy, I believe in romance. I believe in like sweetness and hope and all that kind of stuff. And right now the world is really like, how badly do you believe in that? Because we're going to challenge it in every possible way. And so I appreciate a movie that said, no, he's going to keep that throughout the whole, like, even when he gets angry, he's just like, I'm just so angry that people don't want to be nice. Like,
it's honestly, and it's something my coaches used to say to me in football is accountability plays, earnestness plays, being like truly earnest shit plays. Like, remember when they first made the Captain America movies? It's like, you can't do that. He's too earnest. It's too good. It's like, that's the point. Like, that's why you can do it, because the world isn't that. Like, that's, you fools. Like, what if he like a dark Captain America? Like, no, that's not, you've missed the entire point of this. But this is a sports show. Shanna is on a sports podcast because she is a sports person. She's a sports girl now.
I am a sportswoman. I'm a sports ball doll, as they say on the internet.
Do they say that? Yeah, you do. Do they say? All right, cool. I need to see. This is I'm being exposed. This is all about growth and learning and becoming a better version of myself. But you did something that I'm so excited for, because you are one of the inaugural season ticket holders of the Golden State Valkyrie. Big round of applause for you. One, supporting your local WNBA team. Go do that, guys. But two, getting on the ground floor. Like, what's it been like to kind of be that first wave of fans? Because you're the franchise entered the league as the league seemed to be cresting in popularity, as we're seeing some of the, we'll talk about this in a second, kind of the fiscal fallout from that. But we're seeing more and more conversations nationally about the WNBA, and for the Monarchs to be kind of, or the Valkyrie, excuse me, to be kind of at the next step of the growth of the league. How has that been to be on the ground for that?
So first and foremost, we're called the Founding Guard. That's our official name.
This is where I undercut and be like, they will say anything to take your money. Like,
exactly.
They will say anything to justify you being like, I can afford that.
I love it. I will say that you're right about, and I know that these expansions are planned years in advance, but when I say the timing was so perfect. So last year was when I started like paying more attention to WNBA. And it was really because I'm going to just be honest. It's because I love Ellie the elephant, the New York Liberty mascot.
There's a version of me who makes fun of that, but like 40-year-old me, now educated, grown, wiser, deep home. I don't care how you get in. There are people who watch wrestling because they're like, I watch Total Divas, now I watch wrestling. Whatever. Doesn't matter how you got here. I'm glad you're inside the tent. I'm glad you're now a sports ball doll. I'm stealing that. But the fact that this twerking elephant has motivated so many people to be like, I'll give this WNBA thing a shot. Like, what am I missing? Is the flag larger than I thought? Like, what is this?
I started following her on Instagram.
Of course you did.
And so they do like these, I want to like recaps. I don't know. Megan Thee Stallion does this as well, where she'll kind of like recap. Like she'd be like, "Oh, here was like I was in Asia doing a thing," and she'll like recap it with like a voiceover. And so they started doing that with Ellie, and I think it's like a voice that you can choose on like TikTok or something like that. But it sounds just like my cousin who's from Brooklyn. And so I was like,
you mean like I am a little homesick? Go to Ellie's Instagram. Let's see some voiceovers.
Pretty much, because like Ellie's out here in Kings and like a jean jacket, and like she has a long braid with like hoop earrings, and it was just giving like Brooklyn diva. And I was like, I love this elephant. I'm so obsessed. And so then I also started paying attention to the team.
Whatever it takes.
Because she was like, she'd be like, oh, we won. I'd be like, oh, let me check. And then I found out the WNBA is kind of like, it has the thing that I need to really connect with the sport, and that's drama. The players date each other. Sometimes they're like
a differentiator from other sports. Where you're like, oh, they used to fuck with now. Okay, so now they're not okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
no, and not only that, it's like not only are they not together anymore, but they also now play on rival teams. And Never really in it.
You thought those NBC intros were hot in the 90s. Barkley alone. This is a whole different. Well, they still live in the same place, but they're on different teams now. How's it gonna work like that?
Like I want the like inside tea. Like I want the oh, she didn't just like foul her, but she fouled her because actually she's now dating her ex, and
It's so funny that like we're halfway joking about this, but that's the next expansion of this league. It's like, because they say about the NBA, people care more about the transactions in the games. Well, I don't know if that's true or not. Like we can have a larger debate about that, but that is a great way for people to get into the league. Is the messiness, and with the guys, it's messiness of like, he doesn't want to be in Milwaukee because no one does. And the women, it's like,
the guys' drama not the same as the women's, but the women's drama is just fun. And also, they all seem to. We'll get into it more when we talk about the All-Star game, but like. They all seem to kind of genuinely like each other, which is really sweet to watch as well. Like somebody falls down and like everybody is helping them up. It's like very like sweet, and they seem to enjoy each other.
Which makes the rivalries more fun because you're like, oh, they really don't like each other.
Exactly. And so that was what brought me in. And then, so me and my friends had started watching the playoffs last year.
Great
and
playoffs.
That was when they like announced the Valkyries, and they were like, oh, I think you even had to pay a deposit to be able to buy season tickets. So yeah, which was great because actually when you got they took that deposit off of your price. Good. So it was nice. But I thought it was smart too, because it was like, let us not just like gauge interest, but like really gauge if people are willing to put money behind this. As somebody who has worked in customer service and like ticket sales in the past, I have worked with folks where you had to like have a membership and it was like discounted or like free for like certain folks, and those were always the folks that were the most either demanding, annoying, or flaky.
It's the old saying, something that has no cost has no value, and so you don't value it. It's like, oh, it was free. Why would I'm gonna ask for everything else I get for free. Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, cool. Like we're definitely like in it. And then my two friends who we all put down deposits. I thought that they have like husbands, kids, and so I thought that they were gonna want to get tickets for like them and their families. And then when we actually went to buy our tickets, they were like, okay, so like where are the three of us gonna sit? And I was like, oh, it's just gonna be the three of us. And they're like, yeah, we want to just like hang out as like girls and like go to these games. And I was like, awesome. So we bought our tickets in January. I am a poor, so I was on the payment plan.
You were smart.
Yeah. So you like,
wait a second, I should probably bring this up.
Exactly. So you could do the payment plan and like pay. It was broken up into 3 payments. So January, February, March, everything was paid off by March. May was when the season started, did the preseason game, and then like rolled right into the season. I didn't know there was like the Commissioner's Cup. I didn't know about this whole like this whole Euro ball thing that took a bunch of our players away. I didn't know about any of these things. I just came into it like, oh, we're going to games. It's like it's been a whole thing. And now I'm like super into like where we are in the standings, if we're going to playoffs, all that kind of stuff.
So let's before we get into the standings and the particulars of the Valkyrie, is Valkyrie plural? Is it like Jedi?
It's Valkyries. Valkyries.
Okay, all right. See, this is why we ask. We learn. Before this, were you a big live sports person? Because that's, for me, that was the appeal of when we got Dream Season tickets. It was, I went to a couple games a year before with my friends, and I was like, wait a second, this is a cost-effective way to spend an afternoon. 2, you're doing something that's out of your house but not in the Atlanta sun. And 3, like it was a really good live experience because the court was – you've been to the Dream Arena. It's a very intimate environment. Were you a live sports person before this? What'd you say?
Intimate is so sweet. It's tiny.
Look, what? See? Why you gotta be that way? Can we just –
No,
this is about
it was
celebration
wonderful.
of the league. This is what we're doing. It
was wonderful. I've never been so close watching it. I really appreciate it.
Just shady. Never mind. I'm sorry I asked now. Damn.
I know. Okay, I am in high school and college. I would say I probably went to more live sports just because we did sports, right? So like I was going to my friends' games all the time. I would say in the past like 2 years, I've gone to like more games per year. Because I always do like, I have friends who like, oh, let's go to a baseball game. Like I'm in the Bay Area. We have the Giants. We had the A's. We had the Warriors. We have 2 professional soccer teams. So we have a lot of opportunities for live sports. Now we have the Ballers, which is our AAA team, and their stadium is just a few blocks from my house. So cool. we have like a lot of different opportunities. So last year I went to actually a bunch of soccer games. I went to like 4 or 5 soccer games, which was really fun. I just like my friends will tell you that in the past, especially with baseball games, I'm just there to like eat hot dogs and to look up whether or not the players have significant others. Like I literally would be sitting there like,
the first half I was like eating hot dogs outside, drinking beer outside. You got me, and you're like, and then we're gonna investigate. I'm like, no,
like literally like sitting there like with my phone going, so how old is he? Okay, all right. What's that guy's number again? That was a great catch. That was a great catch.
Can we talk before we get into, because we're going to talk about the Valkyrie and the actual like the season, and we're going to talk about the All-Star game. I said this on the podcast last week with Joel. Megan Thee Stallion getting with Klay Thompson and Cardi messing with Stephon Diggs, however that ends. Rapper dudes, you're done. Because they figured out that their money's real. And your money is rapper dude money. Their money is guaranteed. Look, that's the thing I try to explain. Baseball contracts are 100% guaranteed. Once they're signed, they've got the money. It's all about how it's delivered. Same with basketball. Meanwhile, Offset or whoever could be living advance to advance. So I think it's very funny that the old ashy dudes are like, Klay can't handle Megan. I'm like, sir, we can't handle you. Please leave us alone. Like, let these young people have their time, enjoy themselves, and let these women learn what it's like. Wait, this guy's got money and he's not terrible.
As someone who spent a lot of time when Klay was in the Bay Area trying to figure out how to run into him,
if you were weed, a boat, or basketball, I don't know how you'd ever catch his attention. I don't know how Megan did it is beyond me.
Yeah. Kudos to her. I would say I could not be happier than if I was dating him myself, or if I was dating her myself, or if I was dating both of them myself. That is the only thing that can make me happier, because that's like a dream couple right there.
Everyone's like, this is gonna last. I'm like, Klay's not gonna ruin it. He doesn't have the energy. He's here to smoke weed, play basketball, and get on the boat. And now he has a partner to do. Was the Instagram of them working out together? I was like, uh-oh.
Adorable. And she let that man speak in her voiceovers. They're both like thoroughly in love.
That's very cute. It may not last, but right now it's very cute. And rapper dudes, it is over. Let's talk about the Valkyries. So far this year, they're right in the back. They're in the hunt. They're behind my Atlanta Dream. Go Dream. But like, this is a great season for an expansion team halfway through.
Mm-hmm. I mean, for a while we were like number 6. I think having so many away games is not helping them right now. That they say it, and I'm just going to repeat what they say. We, the fans, are the 6th man. When we are at home, I think our at-home loss record is, I think we've lost like 2 home games. Every other one we've won. We are like very serious as like fans. When they are in the building, we are cheering, we are screaming, we have our chants, we have both me and my friend, we both have pom-poms. We like have a thing that we do when they shoot foul shots. Like we know the cadence of like what cheers are gonna do at what point in the game. We're serious. And every single home game has sold out in a stadium that seats 18,000 people. So
First of all, stop. Wouldn't it be more of an advantage if it was a small arena and it was more intimate and y'all were really like on top of them like that, and the wall of sound? I'm just saying, like, numbers aren't everything. That's all I'm saying. It could have been better if it was just fewer folks.
I do need to say that though, because we played the Indiana Fever on Juneteenth. And folks were like, it sold out because Caitlin Clark's team was there. And I was like, we have sold out every single home game. It has nothing to do with that lady.
Allow me to correct you. Well, let's talk about Caitlin Clark. She didn't play this weekend because of the injury, but she was kind of the host for an all-star game in Indianapolis. Guys, I understand you're trying to attach these games to markets. All-star in Indy, no thank you. I am someone who used to go to the Combine in Indy for work. It's a boring town. Don't do this shit in Indianapolis no more. Bring it here. Bring it to Atlanta. The NBA comes like once every 12 years, and like we can't do it every year. But like once every few years, they come to Atlanta. Come to Atlanta. Come to Atlanta. We got this. But the All-Star game was yesterday. I got to be honest. I was drinking heavily for my 40th birthday, so I did miss the game. But I did catch highlights. I did see that Nafisa Collier scored, was it 36?
She scored over 36. She hit the record at 36, but I feel like she scored a couple more times after that.
She stopped the record. The record was 36. You're good.
Okay, and then she was like, I'm good.
Yeah, hang it up. We have 20.
So I only watched the last quarter of the game. But I was glued to the Stud Buds stream for.
Okay, so let's time out. Let's talk about. So the game happened like every All-Star game. There's no defense. People having fun. 4-point shots on the court. Really cool stuff. The WNBA ecosystem of this weekend is something that I think, particularly as we're on the cusp of CBA negotiations, it's a redefinition of the terms. So, like you said, stud butt. So, could you please? I'm so glad you're here. Please explain what stud butt is.
Okay.
I don't have to do this. Thank you.
So the stud buds are Courtney and T, who are on the Minnesota Lynx with Nafisa. they are studs. That's they're who are friends. They're studs. There's no other way to say it.
Studs who are buds.
Studs who are buds. All they're in the name. So usually they have this Twitch stream that when they're not playing a game, they're watching other WNBA games and usually giving commentary and just
which is objectively smart. It's objectively like, hey, you want to learn the game? Come watch two pros teach you the game. I like that a lot. I really do.
Exactly. And they're just it's giving Beavis and Butthead, it's giving Ed and Eddie. It's like they're just silly. And then they're act like again that they're not professional players currently in the league.
I didn't get put on stud buds, which is a weird sentence, until like a month ago. And I've been kind of like tipping in and out, but for me, it reminds me of NBA players before they had media training.
Oh, it's total non-media trained. I'm like,
there's no media training at all.
I actually need a little, just a little bit more.
A dash of media training.
So bad. It's so bad.
Because you have professionalism.
On the other side of that, you have you have Sid and TP who are doing like an actual, like they're commentating for real.
Yeah.
And they're also a little bit ratchet, but they're not like stud buds level of ratchet.
I don't know if you heard Elle Duncan coming out of the halftime break yesterday. She said, this game is like a girl's trip to Cancun, no D. And I was like, Elle, you are on national television, ma'am. You can't just, Elle, no.
Okay, my other fave is Paige Buchers, who I'm finally going to get to see live this week.
Paige is something else, man.
Paige was on the side. They got her to like give some commentary for a while. And she's like, what do you think the coaches are thinking of this game? She's like, oh, they probably think this is trash. We have no defense. She's like, we're still scoring though because the other team's worse than us, but it's all good.
Paige Beckers is what everyone. Caitlin Clark. I'm like, dog, Paige. That's the one. You got a black stepmama. Every time she gets a chance of her microphone, was like, and by the way, me being here is disrespectful to black women. I'll take this award, but I'm just like, hey man. I love her spirit. I need her to read the room sometimes. Like, hey, Paige,
she's so good. The on Stud Buzz. So Stud Buzz was just basically going around to all the parties, and they have these clips of like Paige singing Keisha Cole, like dancing. It was just a time was had.
Paige Beckers is who they told you Caitlin Clark was. I need everyone to realize that. Everything you're like, I wish Caitlin Clark did this. I'm like, Paige Beckers is right there, dog. Like she does all this shit you're looking
doing
for.
All the things. She's so good. And then the way so T kept flirting with Angel Reese, which was also hilarious because Angel is very straight and very much.
I love that the outliers are, they're very straight. Like that's the differentiator. It's like there might be a gay NFL player, although there might be a straight player. It's like counterpoint.
So I think somebody recently said on Threads, every good WNBA team has 4 starters and a power straight, and it's. So
That's
one of
so funny.
They asked Sabrina, and that's who. How does she feel being the Liberty's power straight? And she's like, I'm just, happy to represent.
It's important to have representation. I want every little girl to feel like they can achieve their dream, regardless of how they were born. I think that's very so stupid.
And then on the flip side, you got Aja, who is there like with her man, and they were asking like, who would you bring on a vacation? Like, who would you go on a girls' trip with? And Sid Colson goes, I'm not taking Asia. She's just gonna be on the phone with Bam the whole time. It's comedy. It's pure comedy.
The stories around the W are so like once you like so for me like my way into the W was I hate men's college basketball, like with a passion. Like for college football and NFL, I feel those are different sports. I'm watching different things. Men's college basketball, I'm watching kids who can't make the league miss layups. Like that's what I'm here to do. Like I'm like, so my joke every year is, Shanna, I watch the men's tournament until I watch the first missed layup, and it's always the first game. And I'm like, but I'm not watching anymore. My time's too valuable to watch you miss layups, sir. Not going to do it. But the women's game, because for lack of better phrasing, there's a lack of opportunity for them at the professional level just because of team numbers and roster caps. These women stay 4 years. You get to know them over those 4 years, the personality-driven aspect of basketball. And then you watch it, now that it's being translated into the same limelight in the WNBA, it's been really cool for me because I'm like, oh, I watched these women bust each other's asses. And like, yeah, there's Caitlin and Angel, but like, there's more direct ones. There's ones where you're like, oh, when Juju gets here, and like, I'm so excited for like this new wave of WNBA appreciation. And I think that watching the league expand and watching the opportunities expand got us to the crossroads we found ourselves at this weekend with the All-Star game. So for those who don't know, it's okay if you don't. The CBA is under negotiation, meaning that the collective bargaining agreement under which the Players Association and the league operate is up in October. They have their first meetings, and let's say that the reporting is that they went super fucking poorly. Players didn't feel like that anything got done with it, came of it. More than 40 players attended the meeting. And if you know anything about unions in general, or specifically sports unions, it's hard to get the players invested because generally there's too much money on the table. Because there's a lack of money is why these players are so like, hey, we need to deal with this. Breanna Stewart, 2-time MVP, said Friday night, revenue sharing is an area where the players in the league are not seeing eye to eye. This is a place where, and I want to make people to recognize this, the players get 9% of the basketball-related revenue under the current CBA. Even if you don't take into account the fact that their TV money is going up in 26 and all the different expansions, you wouldn't have people buying into this league if it was a money-losing venture. So, and I think that one of the really interesting parts of this, not interesting, discussing and eliminating, that's better, has been people being like, I heard the league lost money. Why aren't they? If they're not making money, they shouldn't get paid more. First of all, if you work at a failing company, they still have to fucking pay you what you're worth. They have to, or you'll leave. And with things like Unrivaled popping up, the leave aspect is a real threat now. Unrivaled came through the WNBA All-Star Weekend like a runner at Miami in the 90s for an agent. Just signing people, just like, you want money? I got money. Here's some money. Like, it's wild to watch this happen. And if the WNBA PA, I have to make sure I get the letters right, were able to build a better partnership with the ownership groups, they could have cut this off at the pass. But now you've allowed this crack to form, and I could be watching women's 3-on-3 and be perfectly happy.
Again, new franchise expansion team, but we're talking every home game sold out. We're talking every single time I go, there's new merch, and we're buying it. I'm like the way I'm walking around, and I'll see somebody wearing something, I'll be like, where did you get that? And then I try and like none in my size, or like I can only find it online, or it's completely sold out. I see people talking about I just started watching the Valkyries. I don't even live in the Bay Area, and I'm ordering Valkyries gear. And I can't wait for them to come to my city. So, like you said, it's moving. This is not a lost leader. Like the WNBA,
it's not moving slowly. It's not moving in like a glacial pace. It's moving, and the more investment you see, the bigger the results you get. Sorry to cut you off.
Exactly. And that's what I know for a fact, that the owner of Golden State said he wants a championship within the first 5 years. And so they are heavily investing in the Valkyries right now. And it's paying off. The fact nobody expected that we would even be close to going to the playoffs. To the point where there are things booked in Chase Center for during the time when we would be doing playoffs games. They're probably going to have to do playoffs games at a different arena because they already booked out.
Maybe a smaller, more intimate, more intimidating arena.
No, they're probably going to go to the old to the old Warriors arena.
Yeah,
so it'll be just as big.
Let me add the intimacy and the unfriendly confines for visiting teams.
So yeah, I just think pay these women, like I don't know, like a lot of them are doing well, at least the names that we know. They're doing pretty well because of all the side deals. But if you even take the players out of it, look at Ellie. Ellie has more brand partnerships than some influencers, and she's a mascot.
they're gonna cite this in league paperwork, saying as evidenced by UD Pod, we should be paying the mascots more and not the players. Like this is, I feel like you just put us in the trick bag.
I just mean if we can make a mascot so popular that they're getting brand deals, I think the players deserve to not be subject to having a brand deal in order to make money.
So what you're touching on is something that I think is actually super cool about what you're seeing in the WNBA. So with all the other leagues, if I bring up unions or work stoppages, it's these lazy players, they've so efficiently poisoned the well as owners and as ownership against the labor force that every media coverage of it is so slanted that you can't get a true actual read on people's reactions. Last night, as Kathy Engelbert was handing Nafisa Collier the All-Star Game MVP, 16,000 people at Gamebridge chanted "Pay them." Mm-hmm. Loudest, the most watched WNBA All-Star Game ever. When these players came out in black shirts that say "Pay us what you owe us." Now, this is an organization. This is a league that is no stranger to collective action. They got old girl out there, Kelly Loeffler out the paint here in Atlanta. I'll never forget that, and I always thank them for that. In 2020, like this is a big deal, and so I think it's very cool, particularly with my knowledge of other leagues and their unions. We're going to talk about to close out the show, to watch these women not only recognize that they're fighting not just for themselves, but for players who aren't even in college yet. For players, they're fighting their battles for the warmth of a shore they'll never feel. Yeah. And that in and of itself is so inspirational. And then watching the people organically, there was no sign that said chant this. Mm-hmm. It was a moment that we've heard from players. Kelsey Plum said we didn't as players, didn't know it was going to happen. So it was a genuine surprise. Those chants tonight, those signs, it just shows that as players, we are united. But the fans are united in believing that what we're seeking. The fans making that chant gave me chills, said Collier afterwards. Like that's the unity between fan and player that I don't see other places.
So it's reminding me of two things. One, these players are, or the W in general is so different from other leagues in the way that they work together. We're talking about, like, for some players, they're getting paid less than what teachers get paid in the area that they're playing in. And like, let's be real, teachers don't get paid enough. So we know they're not getting paid enough. Everyone's underpaid. So, like, the fact that, like, I feel like this could also only happen in the WNBA because of how they band together, maybe also in some other women's sports, like soccer. But, like, the way the WNBA, the players just band together, it's unlike anything I've ever seen for any sort of, like, sports. And then this is also reminding me of, I don't know, you probably don't watch this, but there is America's Sweethearts, Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders on Netflix.
You're right. I don't watch it.
Okay. So the first season of that show came out like a year and a half ago. And then the second season just recently came out. And they just announced that the players or the cheerleaders were finally going to get paid like $75 an hour, I think now, which is a 300% increase because they were basically getting paid minimum wage. And they were only, yeah.
Can I be of two minds? One mind, like, good for the ladies, get your money. Like, you're the face of one of the biggest brands in the world. This team's worth billions of dollars. Get your money. Yeah. Two, that it took a fucking reality show to get it.
But so this is what's so crazy is the reports that I saw were like Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders finally get paid after show reveals like how little that they were in. That wasn't it. What happened was that show came out. Yes, people realized how little they were getting paid and started talking about it. And then the actual cheerleaders, led mostly by the Black cheerleaders on the team, which we know already, not many Black cheerleaders.
Yeah,
very much
both of them.
Exactly, all two of them. And they were the ones who collective bargaining got the raise that they're never going to see, because a lot of those women who were doing it were in their like third or fourth or fifth year with the Dallas Cowboys. Most people don't do more than like 4 years, like on average, because it wrecks your body so much. So like seeing those women do that, knowing that like I'm not coming back here next year, but I know even when I leave, they better pay y'all what you deserve. like there were women on that team who had like started those talks, and like they're so injured now that they can't do much else. Like the jobs that they have like cannot be physically strenuous, because literally when they do that split every single game that they do for their opening number, it fucks up their hips. So I just really like, I want to give a shout out to like women in sports, because constantly having to fight, constantly having to like work together and band together, because that's the only way you'll get anything. Like a lot of the men's sports, they really can like as an individual bargain and like, you know, show their worth. And with women, it's like, no, all like 100 of us have to come together and be on the same page, or none of us will get anything.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I do want to close today by talking. How up are you on the NFL collusion story?
Not at all, because I have stopped following the NFL.
Awesome. Well, it's about to get super interesting. So like the WNBA is messy. This is messy, like legally messy. So Shanna, watch. All right, so look, check it out. Deshaun Watson, remember him? The quarterback for the Texans, the massage parlors, real bad guy.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so a couple years ago, he was a free agent. During all this stuff going on, the Cleveland Browns gave him the first ever NFL fully guaranteed contract. They said, no matter what happens, you're getting this money, which doesn't happen in the NFL. It just doesn't. It's verboten. And the owners that summer had a meeting where they were like, hey, this shit can't happen again. Don't anyone else give this money out. That offseason, Lamar Jackson was an unrestricted free agent. Said he wanted guaranteed money, and not one team in the league moved to acquire him. The Falcons were like, they openly said we're not interested, because people were like, hey man, y'all should be interested. And they were like, no, sir, we're not. So this all happens. The NFL is then sued for all of this, because Jesus. But while this is happening, the NFL Players Association is having a change in leadership. My feelings about DeMaurice Smith as a former member of the NFL Players Association as an agent are complicated. I'll probably go into them later this week with Felder, but I want to say this. The guy they replaced him with is so much worse for the players. So they brought in a guy who, his name is Lloyd Howell, and Lloyd Howell was previously the reason why his firm had been given the largest summary judgment against them in DOJ history for falsifying records. He's brought in to be the executive director of the union, which, you know, unions usually want a union person, not a business person, to be representing the union's interests. So this whole report comes out. They get all this information from the owners. They get a 61-page report that is then sealed. The arbiter says that the NFL did not collude, and the NFL Players Association agrees not to argue about it. Pablo Torre decides to report on it because they give a stoner podcast, and he runs things down like a dog, and it's awesome. Sometimes it's about like cheating and fencing. This time it's literally about dismantling the NFL Players Association Executive Committee. Because during his reporting, he revealed that not only they got their hands on the 61 pages, that revealed owners texting each other being like, good job not giving the guarantee, Dino. This is the owner of an NFL team to another one. It'll be easier for me not to pay X player. So I'm like, what the shit? And so this story sits for like 3 weeks because no one wants to report on it because they're NFL media partners. And there's really no win here except for like maybe we tear down the NFL. Eventually, this gets enough steam. Howell stepped down on Thursday. The guy who brought Howell in, J.C. Treader, a former NFL player, resigned from the executive committee altogether. It was like, I want no part of this, because now they started auditing their travel. They found that these men had written off trips to strip clubs in cities such as Miami and to venues in Atlanta such as Magic City. So, Shanna, when I tell you that the NFL union, and I wanted to be very fair here, there's a lot of reasons why the players don't feel represented by their union. I understand that. However, there's a fracturing of that. There's a lack of institutional knowledge that ties back to how they got to where they are, that the WNBA players, it's such a young league that it's easy to look back and point to not just things that happened in the past, but people you know, people you see around. The NFL, it's because it's also a larger group of people with a much more divided numbers of interests. The average NFL career is like 1.2 years. So if I'm here for 2 years, I can't afford a work stoppage that cuts my career in half. Mm-hmm. And so I'm trying to be very respectful of all those varying factors. But I do want to make something very clear as a former member of the NFLPA. What the fuck? Like, these girls are out here with pay us we owe us as a united front, and we can't be like, maybe we shouldn't have 27 regular season games. I don't know. Like, did you know that they don't get paid for postseason games still?
What?
They don't.
So then what's the incentive of going to the postseason?
Oh, Shanna. Sometimes they have incentives built in, but their game checks are not the game checks. You get paid your salary for the regular season games.
Okay.
The game checks are so much smaller in the playoffs. And it's like, because for the owners, it doesn't count as football-related revenue because it's outside the regular season. But those owners are splitting up the gate, the tickets, the everything, the TV money. They split that up, but that's not considered part of the split in the football-related revenue split. I say that to say this. The WNBA is messy. The WNBA is glorious. The NFL, there will be lawyers. Yeah. And they will get paid because this is ridiculous.
Well, also, I mean, I think there is also a little bit of suing to be done around the media, because why are you not reporting on things because you're worried about relationships and not having access? Like, and that similar things could also be said for Hollywood about how certain things get covered up because folks are afraid of not having access.
That's just how power works. Like that's how power, unfortunately, works in this country. Here's the last kicker I'll put on here before we get your the outro. The same guy who just stepped down as the executive director of the NFLPA, he is a partner and an uncompensated advisor, which means he's being compensated in other ways, to the Carlyle Group. It's a private equity firm that's now been permitted to buy 10% of NFL teams, which means the guy who was representing the players was working with the entity to become an owner.
Yeah. I would also like to point out, for anybody who knows what's going on with private equity firms right now, that only let a private equity firm buy your company if you're interested in your company not existing in the next 5 years.
You know what's really sad? I put a post on my Instagram this week about private equity coming after youth sports, and it was a joke. It's a satirical thing to put up. I had one of my friends whose wife won So You Think You Can Dance a couple years ago, so she has a dance studio, and he's seeing private equity affect the dance studios. So now they're bundling dancing and cheer classes. Then you got parents who are paying for the bundle and then paying for the trips and then paying for tickets to the events for all-day weekend passes. And he's like, he explained to me like in very short terms of how it's been disruptive. And I'm like, oh, that's coming for youth sports because it's already $1 billion industry, without them saying, what if we were brought to you by the worst people in the world? Shanna, tell everyone where they can find anything that you do. We're going to have you more at MTR, but also tell them where they might see you across this great world watching Beyonce.
So currently, I think the best place to follow me is on Threads at Cuckoo Chanel. And that is because my entire Threads feed right now is Love Island and the WNBA. Like that's all we're doing right now. It's just Love Island, the WNBA, and it's just
I can't with Love Island. I'm in on Love Is Blind. Love Is Blind has got me, but Love Island's too much. I think it's too much of an ask. I can't get there.
It's fine. I only watched this season again and it brings it full circle because Meg the Stallion was on. I watched this season of Love Island.
That wasn't intentional. We're just that good, guys. Shanna, thank you for coming on. Thank you for once again gracing the MTR airwaves with your voice. We're excited to have you hopefully back in the rotation some. That's it, guys. We're going to have more shows this week. I know we're in the dead time of summer, but apparently I've decided to go to 3 times a week because I'm an idiot. I will be guesting over at the what's the name of the podcast? Oh, my gosh, I forgot the name of the podcast I'm guessing on this week. But I'll put it in the socials and make sure it is tagged below in the video and in the audio post as well. We'll be back on Wednesday with another podcast, and then Friday with Felder Friday. That was your show. There is no outro. See you guys later this week.